So you just go ahead and pop in the floppy disk inside of there, despite the fact that you've only held like 1 megabyte's worth of stuff. And then from there, it's the other 18 disks after that. So it's just a series of downloads overall is what I'm saying.
It's just incredible. I got in so much trouble in the kindergarten computer lab back at school because they would say put in the floppy disk, and I come from an age where I have seen floppier disks, and this is not one of them.
Misleading naming.
They called it 3 1/4 the floppy disks, and I had used the 5 1/2. That thing was wiggly. I wouldn't balance food on it.
True. It's not a hard enough disk. That's the problem. But it was hidden inside the computer.
The 5.5 hard disk. Gosh.
Yes?
Nothing.
Go on.
Nothing. I'm just sitting here listening to y'all's story. That's it.
Good. Okay. So, computer class was my favorite. I was an indoor kid. No, I wasn't. I was outdoors all the time.
Like computer class, your favorite what age / grade did you say?
Kindergarten through second.
Okay.
Then in 3rd grade, it became all about typing. That wasn't fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Stretch. Remember stretching your fingers? Like they kept saying stretch. Maybe
Yeah.
yours didn't say stretch. Mine said stretch a lot.
That's so cool. But you got limber fingers?
Yeah.
Lumber fingers, more like.
Terrific. All right. I'm gonna name a elementary school computer game. You guys tell me if you had it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we'll start out with the obvious yes. Oregon Trail.
No.
Yeah, what is that?
I was allowed to play it, but I
You
never
guys.
had it.
Well, no, you didn't. I mean, I didn't have any of the games that my school computer lab had.
You're talking like the DOS mode one? Or like the
What?
point and click one?
Would you have like a VR headset in kindergarten?
Well, I'm trying to think. You know what?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, point and click was like middle school. Never mind. Yeah, elementary was definitely DOS mode.
Advanced.
I'm Zach. I went to school on a spaceship.
I think I actually did have Oregon Trail at home too.
You had it.
Yeah,
You had it at home. Nobody owned that game. Everybody
think
just
it was-
collectively played copies of it. No one
To be
had
fair,
it.
At school.
I think
Yeah.
it was the point and click that I ended up having for some reason. I also played the drinking card game of it as well. Does that count? But that was when I was like 25.
Mr. Moneybags
not
over
kindergarten?
here. Multiple
You
copies.
don't assume that I got out of kindergarten by the time I was 25.
No, okay. So I played Oregon Trail in the computer lab in kindergarten, and just like everybody else, would shoot like 8,000 pounds of bison
Right.
and or buffalo. I don't remember which.
Of course.
Both.
And you can only carry 200 pounds back.
Yep.
I could have been set for this whole trip
Yep.
with my mighty oxen, also eating buffalo. But no, I got to be wasteful. Use up all my bullets. But then, I don't know, it was like a Amazon trail when I got to
Yes.
5th grade.
Yes. I got that in a cereal
Ooh.
box.
In a
And-
cereal
So
box.
cool.
That is the
Well,
most
it
90s
was-
thing I've ever heard, Alex,
I'm-
that you got
I'm
Amazon
telling you.
trail in a cereal box.
I had to eat non-sweetened cereal too. I'm pretty sure it was a Cheerios box because I had to really suffer. But you know what? The
Like you
intro to that
sacrificed.
game, because it wasn't even a full game. It was the introductory demo disc.
Like a demo. Okay.
But let me tell you, I played the first 30 to 45 minutes of that game. Oh, so many times.
Like a really weird memory knowledge of like certain lines from that game. Like no one else knows what you're talking about, but it's still ingrained in your head.
I could still draw you so instead of shooting buffalo and bison, you had fish and you would harpoon fish them. And there was no condition for failure. So you could just harpoon fish as much piraku as you liked, which I believe are one of them.
Of course. Thank you for remembering that.
I think I had like 3,000 pounds of piraku meat in my canoe because that's what you're traveling down. But the problem is that I think they coded the demo, much like those old arcade games. They coded it so that you would die because of some choice that you had made. And most of mine were running aground and all of my meat going bad, and I look like a fool. And then my canoe explodes and dies.
Yep.
I feel like the original Oregon Trail was a little bit more forgiving, but that might be rose-colored glasses.
It might be because I remember it being brutal. I remember it being a really big deal if you actually got all the way west.
was pretty cool when you did.
Could you save those? Like, if you were in computer lab, could you come back and hit that game later?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Oh, bummer.
you'd have to be in one.
We had to
sitting.
speed run.
Yeah,
speedrun
okay.
strats.
Yeah. Now, I don't know at all what a paraku is, but I'm imagining it like a piranha weighs probably a quarter pound at the most, and you with your 3,000 pounds just sitting in the corner,
Just a
harpooning.
mound.
I harpooned these,
piranha.
quarter inch fish. Yeah.
Just this massive pile behind you. Just keep tossing the next one on there. They're just rolling off.
The
Please,
fish are just shaped like rings afterwards because you got a giant harpoon hole in the middle.
please, all of our other supplies are running out. We only have fish and more fish than we could ever eat, and in horrible format. But please, all of our tools are dull. We cannot make fire any longer. But at least we have all those fish.
We use every part of the paraku.
We can burn fish.
Build a tent out of these.
We'll make a canoe out of fish. Yeah.
What better to float in the water than fish?
Fish with
Fish
holes
already
in
know.
them.
Precisely. Lash them together with rope that I don't have to make a raft out of.
You have fish. You can't make
Fish
rope out of
guts.
fish. Come on.
I mean, that's a failure.
This is
of
why you
Braid
didn't
those
survive
fish.
the Amazon, Alex.
You're not wrong.
Braid those fish. Okay, next game. Number munchers. You guys had number
Oof.
munchers?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's like a 5x5 grid with different numbers in it,
Mhm.
and you're this little guy with 2 feet, and you're running around, and you hit space bar or something to eat the number. It's all about math, like
Hmm.
odd numbers, and you go get the odd numbers.
Yeah, I'm looking at Google Images.
I don't
and,
know.
No, I don't recollect this one.
Doesn't sound
Okay.
familiar.
Well, the bad guys in it, that when you got really good to the further levels, they were called troglodytes. I didn't know what a troglodyte was, but I knew it was a bad guy in this game. So in kindergarten, I knew the word troglodyte, but I didn't know.
Like barn or
No,
something.
I don't know how to use this, but I'm gonna use this word.
Well, no, you troglodyte, you calling me a bad guy from Number Munchers?
Yeah.
Deep cut, man. Congrats.
Deep cut.
Respect.
You don't understand. It's devastating. You're devastated right now.
Deep cut in more than one way. All right, fine. Odell Lake.
Oh, I think you're making these up now, man.
That does sound made up.
Odell Lake.
No,
Not
okay, so
Odell
the
Beckham.
idea here,
Odell Lake.
no, and I don't know what the learning aspect of this was, like why they would have this in a school, but you're a fish,
No, you're a
and
fish.
you have to either try to eat the other fish or flee, and it's like choice based. And if you're bigger than the other fish, it's all about eyeballing fish. And if you're bigger than the other one, then you can eat them and you get bigger.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. Yeah.
In the later levels, there would just be random fish with fish hooks in them. And then, oh, you got caught by an angler because you trusted this game. Trust no one, kid. Eyeballing fish and trust no one, I think, are what the school was trying to teach us with that.
Wikipedia says the game is heavily random, so I'm sure a lot of strategy was going on. As a fish, the player could, quote, go exploring or, quote, play for points. Those are your options.
Nice. Yeah, this was probably the computer lab equivalent of teachers got a hangover. Let me push this TV on a cart.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I don't feel great. You guys got it. You got this. Okay, I remember one. Can I bring it up?
Yeah, do it.
I just can't.
I'm all out of games.
I can't remember the name of it though. Maybe you guys can remember it. It was like a drawing game. Like there was a turtle with like and you could tell it to go at a certain degree angle, like turning around, and then it could go forward for however many units. I don't even know how much a unit was. I don't think it was like centimeters or anything. Just some random arbitrary unit. And then you could just draw stuff. So you'd be like, turn 40 degrees, go 8 units with whatever color 5. Now turn right 100 degrees. It was a turtle. The icon was a turtle. Does that sound familiar?
I heard about it from somebody. I never played it. I might have heard about it from you growing up. And in case anybody's wondering, Alex's internet has gone out, or perhaps Zach and I have lost internet.
Yes, only with ourselves.
So it's just us.
Just
Yes.
hang it out. Yeah, I think I mean it was MS-DOS logo maybe is what I'm looking, but I'm not seeing the exact thing. But yeah, I remember people really. I remember some people would say, "Oh, something amazing happened today. I did something great at school, and so I get to stay in and play this game instead of going outside."
Whoa.
Yeah, that's got to be some kind of next level for when you're a kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm finding it here. Logo writer? Is it logo writer? Oh, this person's talking about Math Munchers. Oh, Reader Rabbit. Remember Reader Rabbit? Or
Oh yeah,
or uh
that I had.
uh Treasure Mountain. I still have some of the
Yes,
Treasure
Treasure
Mountain music
Mountain.
like in my head, like at times.
Diddly 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 diddly
Yeah,
diddly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I remember all this stuff.
I
Yeah.
would go up to Minnesota, and my grandpa had, I guess, all the Treasure Mountain games. It's just Patrick's coming, keep him busy. But I had Treasure
Yeah,
Mountain, Treasure
there were
Cove.
spin-offs, right?
There was there was like a Treasure Math Storm, I think,
Okay.
where you were in the snow.
The math ones are always the worst.
I don't know. I remember liking Treasure Mountain at least. There was also like a mystery one as well. Not Carmen
Yeah,
Sandiego.
Gizmos and Gadgets.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Gizmos and Gadgets was
Yeah,
well, it was
yeah.
very similar.
Yeah. Man, those are good times.
Yeah, I would absolutely say this game is heavily randomized. Right back at you. Like, where is it? Where's the thing I'm supposed to find?
Or
Heavily randomized.
Alex, I know Patrick hasn't played this. Did you play early on King's Quest games from Sierra?
I think so. Oh wow, I think you're
Yeah, I played
uncovering
like
a
the
memory
first.
right now.
Yeah. I played like 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 a lot. But only like it's like a very 50-50 if anyone it's either like, oh my god, I love that so much, or I've never heard of it in my life,
That
typically.
Well, okay, I'm gonna lie in the middle of that one because that was
Dang
definitely
it.
one of those games where I played a demo and that was all I played.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
as far as the first 30 minutes to an hour of many, many video games from the late 90s and
You're
early
an expert.
2000s, I'm an expert. Past that, good luck. It's very hit or miss.
Awesome. I mean, you dabbled in a little bit of everything. You
Nice.
were a well-rounded 9-year-old or whatever.
Dilettante. The word is bullied, but I really appreciate you pronouncing it differently.
Good.
Oh, this is incredible. Alex, do you have any games from school that you remember?
Oh no, I'm about to reveal myself. All right. So I remember there being one that we had several of called Math Blaster. And
Ooh, yeah.
it was a series of arcade games essentially that involved math. So it would be like a Missile Command, where you try and blow up the rockets that are falling on your bases and such. And so you had
Yep.
to input the answer to the multiplication problem, or you had to click the larger of two numbers to get them to stop attacking you. There was another one that was Algebra Blaster, and I think I played it a little too early, mostly because I just gave up on the math part, because you could use it to do these, what they were like, artillery firing solutions. It was like, oh yeah, what's the graph of, how it'll hit these guys?
Yeah, you're
And
like,
you
I
had
don't know what a Parabla
a
is.
chance. And I'm like, I'm just going to hit the fire button and see if I can blow up those tanks. That sounds great.
Nope. I was a little short.
Yep.
Do it a little bigger number,
Yep.
a little further.
Right, yep.
Bigger
Learning
number,
math
great.
is fun.
Shoot.
Teaching our kids to be Army artillery officers.
Yeah.
Military
Awesome.
industrial complex. You love it.
Carmen Sandiego was a good one. I think I probably had that in both places. But then I think that starts bordering on like not as much like a learning game from school and more just like a game. I think at that
Pretty
point.
much.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I never would
Yeah.
have heard of it in school. And then they always swore up and down that any of those typing games were, these are games. Look at how much fun you're having with them. They were never fun.
Yeah. Why you? Yeah. I'm not. This sucks. Can we go outside, please?
Type faster. Mavis Beacon has been displeased.
I don't know what your typing class was. Sounds more fun than mine was.
It was a rough time.
Yeah, I don't even think I like really got serious about typing until like 9th grade, if you can get serious about it. I mean, maybe you guys still peck at the board.
Serious
I don't know.
typing involves being called a keyboardist, sir. That's what I learned in my
sorry.
7th grade keyboarding class.
I had typing class in 3rd grade, which was also the same year that I learned cursive. And then I never used cursive again, which made me think, maybe I'll never use typing again. And that slowed me down quite a bit.
Dang it. You went for it, Patrick. It just
It's all
backfired on
futile.
that one. Hey, you were right on the cursive part,
Yeah.
but just not quite on the typing part.
Eh,
My kid was practicing some cursive the other day in a workbook, and he's doing it, and I'm proud of him for it. And he's getting, just if anything, I'm like, hey, at least you're writing legibly, and you're writing all your letters are roughly the same height and things like that. That's really what I'm going for. But as far as cursive itself, I just don't know where that's gonna go much. He's impressed when he sees me do like a signature, though.
you're going to sign so many checks, kid.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you go into jail for
Yeah.
check fraud.
yeah.
No, because none of the officers have seen checks before. Like, what is this?
I don't know what this paper is.
Jail now.
Get out of here.
The world's brutal, kid.
Gotta learn sometime.
Welcome to Animorphs 55, the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zach.
I'm another host, Patrick.
And I'm the other host, Alex.
What do we feel like doing today,
And we've-
guys?
Oh, we've had this planned for at least 30 minutes.
At least.
Since Animorphs started in 1996 and the books we're reading are 1996, and we had so much fun with our movie draft, we're going to do a video game draft. Snake draft.
Snake draft rules.
Yes, sir.
For games that were released in 96, not that we necessarily was at its peak or something, right? Is that the rule? Release date, release month, year.
Right.
Yes,
I
I
know
feel
how
like
to talk.
that's a lot tighter rules than reminds me of 1996. Are you going to use your super fancy
Number generator?
random number generator?
Yes, very much.
to
With a
pick who's
minimum of
first?
1 and a maximum of 3. Yes. Here we go. Let's do this
Advanced.
for Alex. This will be Alex's number. You ready, Alex?
Yes.
2.
Oh,
Alex is right in the middle.
Ooh.
All right, Patrick,
Ideal.
you're going to be a 2, which doesn't work. 2 again, which doesn't work. 1.
Perfect.
Patrick is 1. Therefore, I'm 3 this time.
I think we should all go at the same time.
And just everyone say, I
Simultaneously.
got a 1.
Yell it.
3-man scramble.
So that
Sorry, I forgot. Am I 3
you're
or
1.
1?
You're 1. So the order this time is Patrick,
Whoa.
Alex, Zach, and then backwards for round 2, and etc. etc.
All right. And just like last time, we're doing 5 of them and then an axe pick.
A bonus, does this really count pick? Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, the Animorphs are basically vowels, right? We've got A, E, I, O, and U. Oh my gosh. Kids stay in school. And then Axe is basically Y. Sometimes he counts as an Animorph, sometimes he
That's
doesn't.
exactly it.
I was wondering where that was going.
Hey, that's another t-shirt. We need a merch store.
So I was like,
Animorphs
Jake
are
doesn't
vowels.
start with a vowel. Hang on.
Yeah, Cassie is
Hmm.
it, wait.
Hmm.
Are we trying to assign a letter to each of these kids?
A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Tobias.
That's the
All
way I
right.
play 'em.
So I'm going to start out strong with something that I assume is everybody's number one choice. So I'm going to get to it first.
Yeah, I'm number 3.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm incredible. So a little Patrick lore. My birthday is on Christmas Eve, and so my whole life has been Christmas and birthday lumped together. And so I was lucky enough in 1996 to get a what you call it? Nintendo 64. I was the kid in that video that screams Nintendo 64.
Yeah, listeners, he was actually that kid. Look it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Some events in this show have been dramatized for entertainment purposes.
Correct.
So one of the games I got when I got my N64, Wave Race 64.
Ooh.
The number one
Yeah.
pick
Classy
in the
pick.
Yep, coming out.
1996.
I'm sorry, you can't have it. You can't have it. It's mine.
All right, I'll take that
Yeah,
off the board.
Wave Race 64, the famous jet ski racing game, where you race. This is before things in games could break. You had an indestructible jet ski that you could go 80 miles an hour straight into a cement wall, and you're fine. But you could do flips and race. And then when you got to expert mode, the difficulty, it was mostly waves and people basically riding on jets, which I guess is the whole point of a jet ski. But they were very fast, is what I'm trying to
See, I
say.
think this was one of the games that I played the demo of, like at GameStop or whatever, or
There you
maybe
go.
Toys R Us or something like that. Yeah.
How fast did the jet skis in the game go? Do you know?
Most fast.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. I don't know. Probably like 70 or 80 miles an hour.
As
I
a
don't know.
10-year-old, he was
It's bonkers.
definitely measuring it. He wasn't just like, "This is crazy fast, Mom. Crazy fast."
Some of those racing games, they wanted to be like, oh, look at us. We're the coolest racing games. You can go 200 miles an hour. And now that I, drive regularly, I think to myself, that's insane. And the idea of being on the water,
water.
and traveling
Yeah.
at 60 plus miles an hour, just really like, that's not my
Yeah.
speed. But
Yeah.
just wasn't sure. Just figured I'd ask.
I went nuts for F-Zero X, which was not in 96,
wasn't.
but I was like, guys, you need to be more excited about this. You can go so fast and you don't even have wheels.
Living in the past.
It also
driving on the
sounds
roads.
dangerous now that I can drive.
Now you say it out loud, yeah. Alex, what's your number one pick?
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a little less unique and a little less signed to me, but I got to go with the one.
What are you talking about?
I mean, that was a deeply unique pick. I don't think anybody other than Patrick could have picked that, even if they tried.
Doggone it. I could have saved that for my number 2.
It might have stuck around.
Maybe.
So I'm going to go ahead and actually take a little bit deeper on the picks as well. And I'm going to have to go ahead and say Metal Slug. It was the coolest game that I had ever seen. It was a shooty game, but it had a little bit of a sense of humor around it. It's a side-scrolling, old school, oh, you pick up this gun and now you shoot 2 streams of things. And, oh, you picked up the machine gun, well, now you shoot twice as fast. And it was just a power-up based game. It just scratched some deep reptilian itch inside of my brain. It just hardwired to the enjoyment center of the brain. Love that game.
I don't think I played Metal Slug. Am I a jerk? Am I missing out on a big thing?
No.
I modded my Game Boy DS many years later, and a copy of Metal Slug fell off of a truck directly onto my...
Right. Oh, I understand.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I got Metal Slug. I've heard about this. I'm so excited to play it. And then I never did.
It's
I
worth
feel
going back
bad
to.
now.
There have been 10 sequels, I believe. And
Oh my.
each one of them just kind of polishes the gameplay, introduces like slightly new villains, slightly new, there's a story behind the whole thing, but it's not as important. It's old school stuff. I mean, if Contra was on this list, I probably would have gone with that. But that style of
Ooh.
game is just
Gotcha.
hits me where I
That was
live.
your jam.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm in this position where I get the back-to-back. I haven't had the back-to-back before. So my first pick will be my first N64 game ever. And also a game that I found, like I had divorced parents, I had friends in different places, and I found I could play this game with literally everybody. Parents, friends, siblings, whatever. And it was awesome. And everyone bonded over it. It was a great time, and we couldn't get enough of Mario Kart 64. Oh
Great
my
pick.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Especially like the jump from the Super Nintendo one to that was like, what is happening that this is in 3D?
It's a step backwards, if we're all being honest.
It was incredible. Incredible. Learning to be an expert driver where you could do like the jump drift thing. If you could really nail that, you could get that extra little boost. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, so good. So good.
I have the Switch one now, and they did the course release pack over the course of like 2 years. And every time a one from the Mario Kart 64 came out, I was like, yes, I know this course already.
I already know it. I know all the turns. I mean, I know those
The
courses
shortcuts.
so well.
Yes.
I could probably drive a few of them like without looking. I mean, I don't want to say all of them without looking, but like you could not like the train one. I did that train one so many times. And then what was so cool is when you got the after 150, you got the backwards mode. Just everything was in reverse.
Yeah.
You felt
That was
and
smart.
that was
That was
tough
a smart
It
though.
way to
felt like
play.
new tracks.
Yeah,
Felt like new tracks.
for sure. So my first pick of the second round then, uh, oof, I'm close to picking another. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I have to take Pokemon Red
Boo.
because Pokemon Red is awesome. It's so
Yeah.
awesome, and I'll tell you, when Pokemon was at its height, I don't want to say that I was too old for it. I was a little like my. I have two younger brothers. The older one was really, really, really into Pokemon cards, games, show, movies, everything. Um, I was probably at high school, like, oh, I'm too cool for everything mode, you know? But, he played it all the time. He showed it to me all the time. I actually didn't play through Pokemon Red until I was probably 30 or like 28 for the first time, like through the Elite Four and everything. I didn't catch them all, so did I beat it truly? I don't know, but I did beat the story and everything, and it was awesome. I had a great time. I played it over a summer by the pool. It was awesome.
Now, I played a lot of it on sports team trips through like middle school. And Zach, I believe I gave you my Mew
Yes,
in Pokemon Stadium or Coliseum
Stadium.
because I was like, I don't play this anymore.
Yeah.
It's too slow for me now because everything is like 3 dialogue boxes. Like, oh, this Pokemon wasn't actually used, but he was in your box.
Yeah.
So he gets a 15 experience,
Mm-hmm.
a points. Great.
Yeah.
And then Alex, I believe you or your wife has my actual, my old, it's not mine anymore, but my Pokemon Red.
I do
The
still have
Pokemon
it.
Red cartridge. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know we had such a Pokemon like legit bond here. Like I have your 100 your Mew I got up to level 100 if it wasn't already. It was at a level 100 and man, I
Awesome.
destroyed some trainers with that. Like stupid trainers with their Caterpies or whatever and I bring out Mew and just
Brought out Pokemon Jesus. See what happens.
I forget how I got a Mew. It was probably Game Shark related.
I think so.
But
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it was, yeah. Okay, cool. Alex, back to you.
Awesome.
Yeah, Pokemon's great stuff. Good
Oh
choice.
my gosh, it's so good. When you play? What was your before we keep going? Sorry, what was your first Pokemon game to play, and what color did you have for that generation that you played? Was it Generation 1?
Oh, Red. Yeah, it's as far as I'm concerned, there are only 150 Pokemon. My kids are starting to get into Pokemon, and right now they treat me like I'm like encyclopedic knowledge. I know everything about Pokemon. Once they get to number 152, I'm going to be
I
like,
don't know.
Good
this
luck.
is
I know.
it's the devil.
I know,
That
like
152 is the devil. 153, that's the devil.
I did get about
I
halfway
don't
through
know.
Gold shortly after beating Red, so I know a few of them there. But that one you had to have like a there was a time based element to it, and there was a battery inside the cartridge that would fail, and it was a struggle to get through
Oh,
that.
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I had Pokemon Red, and my brother had Pokemon Blue. But
we're all red buddies.
unfortunately, there was the conundrum of we only had one Game Boy to play this on. And so
Ah.
you can
You
have
never
all the
share.
cartridges you like, but you can't share between one cartridge.
Right, so you couldn't actually like trade them.
No.
Plugging your link cable back into itself.
That is the
I think
hack.
The surge protector.
burst into
Nintendo
flame.
hates this one trick.
Precisely.
Just
Ah.
Real Pokemon shooting out the end. So cool.
All right, Alex, what is
Um,
your pick 2 then?
All right. So, man, I keep dating myself with this one. So I'll preface this by saying this was another one that you know how they used to have the post-it box tops. I mailed in this
Yeah.
plus a handful of dollars to receive a CD copy of this game back in the day. It
Wow,
was
that was a
Ooh.
promotional thing.
Yes. Oh, yes. And it was the worst part was is that it was like, well, obviously, I was like, oh, it's super easy. You just had to talk to people and collect their box tops because they couldn't be worth all that much. But then I realized that my parents were buying all of that cereal or whatever it was that had these box tops on it. So it did cost real money, but it felt like fake money, which was the best part.
Right. Yeah. Wasn't
But
your
yes,
money.
I collected all that, sent in my $3 plus I had to buy the postage stamp to put on there, and I received back a shiny fresh copy of Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Oof.
Yes.
That was
Loved
quite
the
a
red
game
alerts.
to pick up, and let me tell you, that was back in the day when we had manuals inside of the video games
Ugh.
whenever they arrived, so you could kind of read up on things. And so for games like this, where there were so many different unit types and everything, I kept that thing as gospel. I dog-eared that book. I think the cover got torn off at one point. I carried it around with me and read it at any occasion that I didn't have another book to read. Which is a weird thing for a kid to do. You've got some kid with an instruction manual who's just kind of flipping through it, nodding to himself sagely. Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely remember that the next time I play. Go back and play, get annihilated by the computer, set up a custom game, absolutely destroy the computer, rinse, repeat. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that game spurred a lifelong love of blimps in me.
Mm-hmm.
And in a few weeks, I'll be opening my very own blimp tourism company.
Oh.
So I'm excited about that. Remember about the dramatized events
Yes.
not being
But this one's real.
Nailed it.
entirely
for sure.
accurate.
Wink, wink.
All right, Patrick.
I am torn between a couple. Don't know why. I'm going to go with Resident Evil.
Ooh.
Resident Evil came out in 1996, the first one.
Mhm.
I have several very exciting things to say about it. One is that I didn't play it until probably 2007 because I was very scared.
Mhm.
Same.
I didn't want to play it. And somewhere around 2000, I was in a bookstore and I saw a drama, like a novelization of the book Resident Evil.
Of the book of the movie? No, the movie was.
No, the movie hadn't come out
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. What am I thinking? That was
This was Street Fighter, the movie, the game,
the Mortal Kombat game
Cereal.
movie. Yes.
The money
the
grab.
serial, and which came with a flip book.
Right. Right.
But no, it was a book version of the first game, and I am pretty sure he's collecting the keys and the statue head that you gotta screw on. And it's been a while since I played, so I don't remember all the things. But
Love that.
yeah, it's that was my introduction to Resident Evil. And then I ended up playing through almost all of them. I played through all of them except number 4. And then
Mhm.
my whole life, everybody was telling me, no, number 4 is the best one. You have to play number 4.
Of
I'm like,
course.
it's only on GameCube. I never had a GameCube. And 5. Oh, 5. And
Yeah.
anyway, but then Resident Evil, I think the story is that the voice actors had no idea. They didn't get like scene descriptions or what's going on. It's just these are your lines, and then I'm sure that at least one of the actors thought it was like a dating simulation, and because he's like, you were almost a Jill sandwich when she's like almost crushed to death.
A masterclass
Whose
in voice
blood is
acting.
this? I hope this isn't Chris's blood. It's just like
Like,
terrible
out of
voice acting, and I
context.
loved it,
Yeah.
which made me
beautiful.
think, oh, I can do that better. And I'm almost at that level now.
I've only played,
we
and
are.
this was, gosh, less than 10 years ago. I played the remaster of 5 co-op with somebody online. That's the only one I've ever played. I beat the whole thing.
Why?
I
Of
I
all
don't
the games, of all of the Resident Evil games to play, I think you picked the second worst one.
Is it okay? Because I found that me and my friend were like, this game is not great. And I was like, do I hate Resident Evil? Like, am I doing it wrong? But okay, so you're saying 5 is not very good. Okay.
No,
What makes it
it's
not good?
It's barely a horror game. It's much more of an action game kind of thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
could easily
Yeah.
recut that and put a little bit more action music behind it, and it would be the game Time Crisis. So,
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. from what I remember.
Almost the entire game takes place in the middle of the day, like in fields.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wild.
Kind of missing the point.
I played number 6. Like I got number 6 on a
Oof.
Steam sale,
The worst.
and I started the game. I got about 2 minutes in. It's the tutorial level. It's like, all right, make your way through this hall, and it's this like banquet hall, and there's like dozens of tables and chairs, and some of the chairs aren't pushed all the way in, and so you just can't make it in between those two tables because the chairs don't move. You can't jump. You can't scoot the chairs. You just nope. Looks like you can get through, but you can't. And so it's very much like one of those. I have darkened 95% of the screen. Get through this maze,
Right?
kind of a puzzle. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Not worth it.
Refund my $2.50.
It's the principle. Oh, that's good.
All right, Patrick. Well, you got a back-to-back.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Rad. I can do that other one that I was torn.
Get it,
All
Natalie
right.
Imbruglia.
So yes, nothing's right. Torn. Civilization 2.
Ooh.
I played that a lot. A lot of people I've heard a lot of people talking about 5 and 6 and now 7, and never played any of those, but I played 2 an awful lot. I spent a lot of time. I don't remember a lot of it because it was probably around 1996, but I thought I was so cool creating the hanging gardens, and like, this is beautiful, but it also opens me up to win more at fighting somehow. And so I felt pretty cool with that. My first taste of being God.
Observe. Look upon my works and tremble.
All right, so I've got it. Okay,
All right.
Alex?
So I'm going to have to reach a little bit deeper in the grab bag, just because I got to go down to a pick of a game that I had specifically, because that's always the thing. A game that I actually owned the full copy of was a rarity. And so going for one of those, I won't say that I made it further into the game most of the time, but there was a higher likelihood that I would.
Yeah.
So my game is Kirby Superstar for the SNES.
Is that the Mario All-Stars of Kirby? Is that
No.
that one? Like, it had like a bunch of games on it, or no?
No, it was not. Kirby
was its
Superstar
own?
was, you are exactly right, actually. I was thinking of an entirely different game. Huh.
Oh, well, but probably that game's on Kirby Superstar, so still
It
counts.
is, yes. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember only playing basically just the side-scrolling version of it because I just wasn't good enough at a lot of the other racing elements or anything like that. That was back when game UIs were a bit more obtuse and they, didn't have the ability to mouse over and get a tooltip or anything like that. If you didn't know what you were doing, just mess around until you do, I guess. But the side-scrolling element of it
You're
was
a
very
kid, you
fun.
got plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. You got hours and hours to spend on this. But I just remember, really enjoying it. It was always fun to pick up powers and stuff. And they'd be like, well, you should pick up this power. This will be really good for this world. And I'm like, I know better than you, game. I'm going to keep the tornado power, even though I have to cut through a bunch of things. And there's a cutting guy right over there. So
Nope. I do what I want.
Learning experiences. Yes.
Okay.
Have you watched the news? A tornado can put a piece of grass through a wooden fence.
Watch this.
I think I'll be fine with this tornado hat.
Okay. I can't believe that both of these. Well, one of them, sure, but the other one I can't believe is still on the board. So I'm going to be dramatic and put it technically in the 4th round, but make it even more unbelievable. So I'm going to take with my 3rd pick, Heroes of Might and Magic 2 for the PC.
Old school.
Oh man. My brother showed me that game. I was not typically games that I played tended to be one-player games, like a Mario game or a Donkey Kong game or like an adventure game for the most part. I didn't do a lot of build your army, defend your castle, take over, expand type games often. But that's what this was. And if you haven't played Hero Might and Magic 2, you can actually find an emulator.
They're all on Steam these days too.
Yes, exactly. That's where I got it. It was on Steam.
Yes.
You can play it. You can still play it. It still exists. You can still find ways to get it. It holds up. It's great. It's one of those long games. You know, you save it, come back. The best part was me and my brother would like create our own maps, and it would be and just you could make the most ridiculous things. You know, just massive amount of mines behind just a wall of like green dragons. And if you could somehow get through those green dragons, oh my gosh, you unlock so much stuff. You know, totally make the map totally disproportionate to reward risk versus reward and stack certain sides. It was so awesome. You could
I got
unlock more. I think if you found your parents' credit card, you could. It was one of the first times you could get a few more items to put into the map. Which now looking back is that beginnings of microtransactions. I don't know, but yeah. Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Can't recommend enough. For my fourth pick, I can't believe that it made it to the fourth round. I have to take Mario 64. I don't know how that this made this to
Yep.
this point. This is a shock to me that I got it with the fourth pick. Mario 64, getting all 120 stars was such an adventure at the time. Uh, it was so cool. It was so cool doing Mario in a different setting like that. There were some levels that were so infuriatingly frustrating. It just pissed me off to no end, but getting through it was so rewarding when you're like 12. Um, so anyways, those are my two in a row. Here's my Magic 2 and Super Mario 64.
Fun story. Super Mario 64 was the first game that I had that you got to have your character jump into a painting.
Oh yeah.
Probably the first one, yeah.
I know, I know a lot of people probably had earlier games that
Yeah.
that did that, but
Yeah.
that was my first
That was
one.
your- that
It had that awesome Bowser music. Oh man.
Super Mario 64 set the standard for a lot of that stuff too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because it was like, here's what a game can be now with this next level. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had I've talked about the Columbia Music Club a lot of times on this podcast already, but one of the CDs I got was actually, it might have come with the game, but the soundtrack of Mario 64. And I, being the super cool kid that I was, had that in my CD wallet for all my
Yeah.
like basketball and football bus trips. Yeah. And hey, let me see your CDs. I'm bored of mine. Okay. What is this, Super Mario 64? Nerd! No, listen to it. It's really good.
It's really good. I recommend track 3.
I'm gonna go listen to Chumbawamba instead, nerd.
And it's all just MIDI songs. Just those old synthesizer tunes. Love it.
Yep, and just loops. Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, that's excellent. Yep. All right. Alex, what's your
Go-
what is this? Fourth
Go, Alex.
fourth
Go,
pick.
Alex.
Fourth pick.
Go.
My
Fourth round.
fourth pick. Ooh, I got to dig a little bit deeper for this one. Okay. If you listened in on the movie episode, there's an important one that I got to pick here.
The English Patient, the game.
Yes, exactly. Clearly, man, that would have been
SNES
interesting.
adaptation.
I think. I don't know even. The movie tie-ins were insane back then.
All the time. So many of them.
But a game that I played, I think, exactly once at a Walmart, didn't fully understand it. And then later, I think they re-released it, tried to play it again, still didn't understand it, never looked up how to play it. But I thought it was just the coolest thing when I saw people doing it well, was Parappa the Rapper.
What?
Huh.
I don't even know what
So-
that is.
It was
Oh, yeah,
basically like a
Familiar.
go for it, Patrick.
Oh, no, I am familiar with the art. I know what the guy looks like. I don't know what the game is. I'm guessing it's like a Dance Dance Revolution for your fingers.
It's kind of like that, but it's with like rap battles that go on. And so you kind of select the words that you're going to have there. And so it's kind of like a
What?
timing rhythm-based game with word selection, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
And I was just like, this is like a wild way to do a game. And so I saw an older brother of one of my friends play it one time. And he's like, yeah, this is like the coolest new game and stuff like that. And he had like the Def Jam posters on his wall and stuff like that. So he knew rap. So if
Nice.
he thought Parappa the Rapper was
rap.
a good
Yeah.
rapper, then obviously, I mean, that's about as much credence as I could lend to it. But it was a wild game, just completely different than all of these other ones, and the art style still super duper cool. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I put less than 30 minutes into that game. So
And you still got 2 picks below it.
Exactly. You know?
Looking forward to this.
Yeah.
All right. Does that make it my turn now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think so.
Neat. All right. I am going to go with, I'm going to use Zach's strategy of holding this one off for 5th round. Can you believe it? So for number 4, I'm going with Cruising. Yeah. Cruising USA.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Was it arcade first or 64 first?
You know what? I'm not sure. My kids we were at the trampoline park today and they were playing Cruisin' Blast, the arcade version.
Okay.
And we have Cruisin' Blast on the Switch. And at the arcade though, like they're hitting the walls because, they're not 16 yet. They don't know how to drive.
Right.
Yeah, speeding a little bit.
Ooh.
And
Thanks.
little lights and stuff are flying off. Like it's, everything's getting destroyed. And then in the home version, it's just like you hit the wall, bonk, bonk.
Right.
And there's
Not
no
nearly as-
property destruction.
Yeah. So the arcade's obviously
just-
better in that sense.
Yeah. And so it was a lot the same with Cruisin' USA too. I played a lot of Cruisin' USA at home, and that's a game that taught me that life isn't fair. I was doing so well, and then just right at the end, that blue Mustang would blow past me. It's like, nope, you've wasted 5 minutes because you're not first anymore. You have made no mistakes, and it's just incredible. You got second place. Try again.
Too bad.
And then so eventually I got all frustrated and I just, you know what, I'm going to just sit at the start line and just wait. So I waited for, the races would be like 2 to 4 minutes usually, despite what I just said. And so I waited at the start line for like 2 minutes. And then I drove and first or second place because it's got like rubber band.
It brings
something.
you in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you're way in the back. You need to go faster. You're way in the front. You don't need to go so fast.
Yeah.
Let's make this a close, exciting race.
Yeah.
Just,
That's so
but it was a good time. And it reminds me of a time when you could, change your view to inside the car and you drive through Indiana and you just got bugs splattering all over your windshield.
I forgot about that. And it's like the same.
Yeah, can't do that no more.
Bugs.
Yeah.
There's like 2 of them that they just use like 50 times. Yeah.
Identical bugs.
Awesome. Good pick. Good choice.
Awesome.
I approve.
Thank you. All right. And can you believe it made it to round 5? This is a game I played a lot. I'm going to leave you in suspense. This is a game that I played a lot at my dad's house over the summers, and I was not a skilled child. So I made it probably 75% of the way through. And then recently it was re-released, a remastered new version on the Switch. This is Super Mario RPG. And first RPG that I played. You level up your dudes. It's the only game I know of that's got Gino in it, little guy in a blue cloak. And fun fact about me, I thought I was hot stuff reading, and so I would kind of skim as I was reading the instructions and dialogue. And so they were telling me about something called timed hits, where, oh no, the enemy's attacking you. Press A right now, and you'll block, and it won't hurt quite so bad. I skimmed through that, and I thought it was timid hits until several years later. It's like, oh, well, he's timid because he's guarding against an attack. Yeah, I get that. Cool game.
For
A little weird.
For
I love
years
that.
is like the solidified instructions that just because you didn't look at it very carefully for like 10 seconds.
Yep.
God, is there anything more like being a kid than that process? Something just
God,
totally
okay.
mundane sticking with you forever.
Yeah. In elementary school, I had a subscription to Nintendo Power magazine, and they had
we
the
all
little
did.
cheat codes section in the back.
Mhm.
And for at least one of the Donkey Kong Country games, there was a cheat code for the Super Nintendo. You hit BARRAL, and it spells barrel, because Donkey Kong uses those, and you get, I don't know, a bunch of lives or something. Well, Nintendo Power published it, and BARRA was all on one line, and then the next line had the L because just magazines can't adjust anything. And so I was talking to some kid at school. It's like, yeah, did you know there's a code you get extra lives? It's Bara. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but yeah, type in Bara and hey man, it didn't work. I tried it last night a bunch of times. It didn't work. Oh.
Did you ever tell
Yeah,
him the right one, or just like is he still to this day thinking that kid
Nintendo
Patrick
Power's
never
fault."
told me the right code? That jerk.
I don't know.
Oh,
He's still
man.
trying that code to this day.
It's interesting. Mario RPG has been the one that
Gotta buy a new game.
There's been the one that's like it's always eluded me. Like I never had it when it first came out. Then I got it I kept my Super Nintendo. I still have my Super Nintendo. It just I got the game as a gift like 10 years ago, and my Super Nintendo started crapping out a little bit. But I thought that it was the game. I got that, and at the time I got Yoshi's Island, and neither one were working, but my other games were working. So I was like, okay, it's just the games. I hung on to them, whatever. Then the system ends up crapping out. So then I get a new refurbished system, but by then they had this NES Classic that came out digitally. So I keep having a thing that keeps pushing back playing it, but I've always wanted to play it my whole life, and I think I've only played 5 minutes of the game.
At one point, you were telling me that you found it at a used video game store, but it was $80.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that too.
it's a
So
popular one.
that was like a barrier to entry at one point when I don't know if it's gone up or down
Yeah.
since the release of the Switch one, but yeah. Oh my goodness, I need to beat it. I need to play it. I mean, geez, it just keeps getting pushed.
Get it together, Zach.
Yeah, I need to. All right, Alex, you got to pick 5.
I feel a bit
Get 'em.
silly now because I think I overlooked this one on my first set of drafts, but it's a pretty slam dunk pick for my life. So arcade games, as y'all mentioned before, with Cruisin' USA and the arcade version, always the arcade version is always better overall, but because it's more engaging, you've got a steering wheel for the racing games or whatever it is. It's just that tactile feeling. I absolutely adore that. And so that's why my 5th pick is Time Crisis. That game, man, that game was in my psyche deep. And if I had to pick one game to go to an arcade to play, and it's like, you can only play one game for the rest of the night. If it's a Time Crisis game, I will play it all night long. I love Time Crisis so much. That like pedal, release, shoot a bunch of things. Oh, use this weapon and stuff like that. And there's some, helicopter that flies by. Doesn't help you out at all, but just chucks you a grenade launcher and says,
cool.
"Go ham on them." I love
Yeah.
that. That's peak game design.
You could have shot them from the air with this grenade launcher.
You could have done this. You were closer and you had the element of surprise, but here I am, just a normal man inside of a truck shooting down terrorists by the bucket
Where did
load.
that very loud helicopter come from? I'm so surprised.
And the fact that it's got 2 people that you can play it with as well. I always loved that because, I'd have to take my brother along with me, or I'd have a friend that I would be going with. And it was always fun to kind of alternate that, especially on the times when, I don't know if Dave & Buster still does this, but they used to have the power hour. So you just swipe your card once a minute, basically, and it was free to play the game. Well, it wasn't free to play the game, but, it was.
Well, you had that whole time. Yeah. Just
Right.
keep going like.
And
Go,
so
go,
we
go,
just
go,
do
go.
that,
Let's
and
get
we
our
just
money's worth.
rack up all of our money on there, and then it was, an hour-long playthrough of Time Crisis. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, Zach, you're up.
Okay, so I don't think this is cheating. It came out in the arcade in '95, but came on the PS1 port in '96. So I'm gonna take Tekken 2
Sure.
because
All
Tekken
right.
2 was great. I never really had fighting games as a kid. That was like my sneak away and play a fighting game.
Interesting.
It was either at my friend's place that had PlayStation games, or it was at an arcade. Yeah, Tekken 2. Tekken 2. It was a lot of fun.
What was Tekken 2's gimmick? So, like, Mortal Kombat, you got the fatalities, and Street Fighter, you've got, I'm sure you have something.
I don't remember them having one other than like over the top moves, like ridiculous, crazy kicks and things like that like are physically impossible, But no, like zoom in, spine crunch, blood fly everywhere, none of that. But it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I guess it
Nice.
was probably the tamer of the fighting games.
Ah.
which shows you how much I thought I was a,
The technical
you
one.
know, yeah,
Technical.
good one.
Zach, do you have
Okay,
an Aximili pick here?
right. Well, like we just rounded out the Animorphs, right? The Animorph picks. So now this is my bonus.
All we got left is Axe picks.
I'm gonna go Sonic 3D Blast.
Oh, there it is.
That was Sonic's first attempt at not doing a side scroller. It was very much in the vein, or the look at least of Mario RPG, but it was not an RPG. It was still an action game. But it had that point of view. I almost beat it. It gets so difficult by the end, and it's in classic Sonic style. Start the whole thing over if you run out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And there could be some frustrations with trying to like go at an angle, right? Because it was not a side scroller. It was at an angle, but you still had, a D-pad or whatever to try to do that angle sometimes. I don't remember joysticks being super used at the time on the. So, anyways, I could be wrong. It could be my own memory of just sucking or something. But yeah, that's mine. Sonic 3D Blast, which is not Sonic Pinball. Blast sounds like pinball. It's not Sonic Pinball.
There is no Sonic Pinball.
Of course not.
Spinball.
That would be Alex for your Aximili pick. Aximili.
My Aximili pick would be a game that introduced me into video game playthroughs and kind of a watch over the shoulder style, because it was very much so an imitation, watching other people play through games and, kind of getting that secondhand enjoyment from it, much as our sweet boy does, learning how to be human. So my left field pick here has to be Phantasmagoria 2, A Puzzle of the Flesh.
I saw that when I was doing research for this.
A point and click game that
Phantasmagoria 2 what?
A Puzzle of the Flesh.
The Puzzle of the Flesh.
It's this somewhat sci-fi alien it's a ridiculously complex plot that makes zero sense. It has like 6 different endings that you can end up in based on who you talked to and things that you could pick up. It's one of those point and click adventures that you had to find singular pixels to click on and things. Buggy as all hell. It was horrid and tremendous. Me and my friends would watch a playthrough of it over and over again. I would never play it, not in a million years. But
Incredible.
As far as a game to watch, hilarious.
All right.
This is my last pick. Now, I've still got 4 games that I played that I don't think I want to make my top 6. Those include Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, Donkey Kong Country 3, Pilot Wings 64, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. All solid games, but I want to give my number 6 spot to Mortal Kombat Trilogy because I borrowed it from my friend Nate and completely forgot to give it back. I still have it.
There you go. Nate, if you're listening right now, leave us a comment. Leave us a 5-star review, though. Not a 1-star for not getting your game back.
This is probably 27 years ago that I borrowed it. I still have it.
Is he the same guy that you said the wrong code with the Barra instead of Barra?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
Nope.
You didn't double.
That ended the friendship. Him giving that wrong code. Cue the game, bonded them.
Good.
No, never. There are some more notable games from this year that I wanted to shout out.
I have one that I would have picked as an honorable mention as well.
Go for it.
Go first. Goosebumps, Return to Horrorland. Or no, Escape from Horrorland. Sorry, Escape from Horrorland. Featuring Jeff Goldblum as Dracula.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. It's a point and click. Like you're walking around trying to get through, and you find Jeff Goldblum in there. He just seems like he's having the time of his life acting for this game.
Good for him.
Take a look at it sometime. But that didn't make my list. If I had a 7th pick, I would have probably picked that. But anyways, what were some of the other ones?
Oh, speaking of Jeff Goldblum, recently I saw a video clip online of Tim Curry in Command & Conquer, probably Red Alert, maybe Red Alert 2.
Yes.
but he's just like one take. He's like cracking up the whole time. You keep it, but he's like, I must escape the one place where capitalism cannot touch me. Space.
I remember that. And he's just losing it at that point.
It's beautiful. Oh
It's
my God.
incredible.
That live action, so good. Oh man.
But yeah, so notable games that came out in 1996: Dead or Alive, the first one, the fighting game with different target audience. Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider 1, yeah.
Along the
Donkey Kong Country 3.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned that one. There's notable for being the first WWF game for home consoles. WWF in your house.
Ah,
Cool.
In your house.
great name.
Indiana Jones and his desktop adventures.
Yeah. Oh, that's
for
hilarious name.
the desktop computer.
And
Quake.
Quake.
Yeah, Quake. I played quite a bit of Quake.
I never played Quake. It comes up a lot when you look up 96 games. It's like one of the top ones. Like what even was it?
It was so if I remember correctly, Quake was a multiplayer version of the Doom games, and I'm sure somebody's going to come and comment and say, "Absolutely, no, you don't understand anything about games." I'm just giving you what I got. You know, I got my butt handed.
Hey,
to me
come
a lot of
comment. It
times.
helps us.
Yeah, got my butt handed to me plenty
Tell
of
us how
times
much
in
Alex
Quake.
doesn't know about Quake.
Oh no. But it was basically all these weapons and stuff like that, but it was a PvP. So you had to, you like 8 people could join in on a LAN game to play Quake and, shoot each other with rocket launchers and such. So,
and that was probably a pretty new thing at the time as well.
it was. And if you didn't own it
Yeah.
and didn't have the chance to get good at it or a good mouse or good internet
then
or
you
any
had
of
a
that,
horrible
like I didn't, you were just going to have a real bad time the whole time.
It's like doing online games now where you don't have 10 hours to perfect yourself all day, so you suck and have a bad time.
The
Yeah.
more things change, the more they stay the same.
All right. Since we've all got our 6 picks, I wanted to play a little game with you guys. I'm going to get a virtual dice. But in the end of the movie episode, we had a terrible scenario that Mr. 3 had kidnapped somebody, and we had to save them using a dream team of our movies. So we're going to come up with a scenario to solve with. Each one of us gets to pick one of our games that's going to help save the day. All
Or
right,
maybe like a character from it.
sure,
Sounds
whatever.
Yeah, great. This is very
Cruising
scientific.
USA ran up and punched Mr. 3.
Yes.
All right, so I got six for each person, action, and thing. So, person. 1, a group of taxons. 2, axe completely by accident. 3, Tom's Yeerk. 4, Marco's mom. 5, Cassie's dad. 6, Visser 3. The action. Donates to a museum. Steals. Threatens to blow up. Feeds. Adopts. Launches into the sea. Thing. The Morphing cube. A bomb. A taxon who is painted blue. The Yeerk pool. Every single orphan in the city. And Christmas.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to roll. All right. 5. Cassie's dad.
Okay.
4. Feeds. 6. Christmas. Cassie's dad feeds Christmas.
I
Great.
love that movie.
It is on
Okay.
rotation every year. We play that one. I can't wait for the second
Do we want to do this one or
one. Nope, you rolled it.
try for
Patrick.
something more
Nope,
sensical?
You
Okay.
rolled it.
All right. Well,
What do you want to do now, Patrick?
walk myself into a corner with this one. All right. I'm going to say Civilization 2 is my game for this one.
No explanation.
Zach. Well, no, I got to come up. I got to hear your guys. You guys. Oh,
From one of my games. Okay.
yes.
Give me a freaking Gyarados, baby. I got all of. Oh, give me a freaking Mewtwo. That's what I want. I want a Mewtwo. Mewtwo will help me.
Okay. I want the Hanging Gardens for mine. Alex, how are you going to help Cassie's dad feed Christmas or stop him from feeding Christmas?
And I'm going to get character development from the Phantasmagoria game. I don't know. I don't feel like I selected well for this one.
Good.
We're gonna trap Cassie's dad in the Hanging Gardens with Mewtwo as like the Minotaur in the labyrinth.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a Saw-esque.
Yeah, if he's feeding Christmas, what is he feeding to Christmas? Himself?
You know what? I should have done a better job, but I didn't.
No, this is fine. I just want to know what Cassie's dad was feeding. Was it himself? Is Christmas one that feeds on others? In which case...
ho, Cassie's dad, I'm so sorry, but Christmas is canceled this year. It's just too hungry. You're going to have to feed it for me.
And then so I have Mewtwo just to defeat Christmas, basically? Is that what I'm going for?
We're just missing punctuation. I think that's the problem here. It's Cassie's dad feeds, Christmas? It's stage notes about what's going on. It's like, should I do Christmas food? Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right, one more try. All right. 1. A group of taxons steals a taxon who is painted blue. How disappointing. I think that was more fun than coming up with a solution. All right, Cassie's dad adopts every single orphan in the city.
Perfect.
I don't want to stop him.
How are we?
Why am I stopping him from adopting children?
What are you doing to help him?
Too many orphans.
This poor man.
Cassie's dad, stop. All those sad children. No, they stay in that orphanage. Do not adopt those kids.
I have a farm. It's okay.
Yeah, I have lots of space. No, do not take them to your large farm with plenty of space for these kids.
Impossible.
All right, we're driving the kids to Cassie's dad's farm with the Cruisin' USA cars.
All of them, yeah. Or on wave racers. On the streets. Not in the water.
Always wanted a jet ski with wheels.
Yeah, I think we win with those.
If only they made something like that.
Yeah, we did a good job.
We didn't recap the things in case people want to say who got the best game lineup. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you got them written down?
I wrote them down as we went.
do.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I got them all. Alex, you have Kirby Superstar, Command and Conquer Red Alert, Parappa the Rapper, Parappa
the Rapper.
Right. Time Crisis, Phantasmagoria 2, The Puzzle of the Flesh, and Metal Slug. Yeah, Metal Slug. Yep.
When you sandwich them like that, it sounds a little weird. You're right.
Sounds ridiculous. Patrick, you have Super Mario RPG.
Why are you doing them out of order?
I just had them written down already. You have Wave Race 64.
Which is, I've never heard of another Wave Race game, but it is the 64 one.
It was the cool thing that was so 64 on all of it at that time.
Just like throwing Super for
Cruisin' USA, Resident Evil, Civilization 2, and Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Nailed it.
And for me, I've got Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64, Pokemon Red, Sonic 3D Blast, Tekken 2, and Heroes of Might and Magic 2.
All the sequels.
That is true.
Who won?
Who's next?
Give us 5 stars and comment about who won.
If you have any suggestions about any of these games or who won what, email us, review us, 5-star us.
Tell us that we didn't understand any of these games and we should have played more than the demo. Feel free.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I know.
And I don't think we've gotten any fan mail yet, but animorphspodpeople@gmail.com.
Absolutely. That's it.
Send us email. Maybe we'll read it on the show.
We will.
I'd love to.
Why not?
Bye now.
All right. Good job, everybody. See you next time.
Animorphs 55, the podcast, is a fan-driven, nostalgic podcast created by Zach Hurdle, Patrick Viersba, and Alex Holton. But don't tell the Yeerks. Theme music provided by Neko Boy. Podcast artwork by Rachel Hurdle. Episodes edited by Patrick Viersba. Based on the 90s sci-fi kids series written by K.A. Applegate, Michael Grant, and other contributing authors. To contact the show, email animorphspodpeople@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.